Welcome learners for the lecture 8 of a cosmology. Today we discuss about the Doppler shift, that is the part of a de-Sitter universe. Okay, de-Sitter universe has a four part that consider as a Doppler shift. Let us go started as a Doppler shift. Generally they will be considered as a source of a light that will be emitted in the source to the other form that will be containing as a decreasing manner of their light for passing through a wave. Okay, consider that light is emitted by the source located at a r at a t1 is a received by the observer at a r equals to 0, because source is considered as a center point. This center point is generated as a radius r is a 0, because they does not working in a left hand side, right hand side, upper side or lower side. Okay, they will be considered r equals to 0. At the latter time t2, it is a radial motion of a light for which we have to consider ds equals to 0, means the distance will be considered and angle will be generated, that is a d phi equals to 0. Then equation giving in a previous lecture, that is a 2.6, they generated to the value, that is a dr upon dt equals to plus minus bracket will be considered 1 minus r square upon capital R square. Plus minus consider as a sign that will be generated as a possibility as a two form. First is a greater or the lower form, but it will be considered as a positive as well as negative to the form. Since the light ray race more towards the origin, that is the sense of a r decreasing, radius will be decreasing, means the coming from the source to radius they generated to the circle, there is a decreasing manner. We take a negative sign in the above and write to the equation, that is the integration t2 to t1 dt equals to integration r to 0 dr upon 1 minus r square capital R square equals to integration 0 to r. Why it will be given as there a sign of upper limit and lower limit? Because minus sign will be changes to the plus sign, and their limit will be changing and all the form is the same as a condition. Dr upon 1 minus r square capital R square. Then after that integrated to the part t2 minus t1 equals, consider integration 0 to r dr upon 1 minus r square capital R square. They changes in the both of this form and changing to the condition, that is a dt2 minus dt1 equals to 1 minus 1 upon 1 minus r square upon capital R square dr consider as a dt. This will be the form and this dt will be cancelling to the form, means a dt2 is changes to the form in the condition 1 upon 1 minus r square upon capital R square dr upon dt generated as a dt1. Okay, you know that dt2 is a time interval between the receptions of the two receives. Okay, dt1 is considered as a time interval between these emissions when source of light is passes to the one point and radius will be decreasing in manner, and dr upon dt is the radial velocity of a light at the time of the emission. For the light ray moving in the plane, when plane is moving, they generated as a 90 degree, means a pi by 2 will be getted. Then equations of a dr upon dt equals to k e to the power minus b. Then k is a constant and put e to the power minus b to the form, that is a 1 upon 1 minus r square upon capital R square. Then you know that equation will be considered, that is a ds will be generated equals to dt will be considered that manner 1 by k 1 minus r square capital R square. Now upper position means a upper position getted as a lower position getted as upper position. Since hence if dt1 is the proper time interval of the observer moving photons, that is the light particle, and dt1 is the corresponding coordinate time interval, then above gives to the equation that will be generated, means the equation will be given dt1 equals to 1 by k 1 minus r square capital R square dt1 upper position when t1 will be given. The proper time in the world between a two successive at the origin given, that is a dt2 is considered as a 1 plus 1 upon 1 minus r square capital R square dr upon dt1. Then it put it as a dt1 value that will be given to the equation. Okay, then 1 plus 1 upon 1 minus r square capital R square dr upon dt k dt 1 0 1 upon 1 minus r square capital R square. Okay, when balancing to the condition and solving to the equation and divided to both of these part, that is the dt2 0 upon dt1 0, then equation will be generated this form. If d lambda is the shift in the wavelength measured in the origin, then lambda plus d lambda upon lambda is considered this equation. Since if k is greater than 0 and 1 minus r square upon capital R square are also greater than 0, then right hand side depending on the magnitude and sign of a dr upon dt. If dr upon dt is greater than 0, then right hand side of is a positive, that is a lambda plus d lambda upon lambda is greater than 0. Then redshift is a form. If dr upon dt is less than 0, dr upon dt is less than 0 means a 0 greater, then two condition is a form lambda plus d lambda upon lambda greater than 0 or lambda plus d lambda upon lambda less than 0. Both of these condition form. Then red or a violet shift is a form. Both of these condition will be generated. Hence in the de-Sitter universe there is a possibility of a both red and a violet shift in the light coming from the distant nebula. However, there is some tendency to favor the occurrence of a red or violet shift will be formed. This is the given to the Doppler shift. It is a simple equation to get at this form. First of all, how to generate it to the simple equation, that is the integration t2 to t1, that will be generated to the form minus r to 0. Consider to the value in both of this equation, that will be changes to the form. Okay, this will be the equation. Generally, red or a violet shift is basic to the form, that is the dr upon dt is greater than L. This is a Doppler shift. It is the four part of the de Sitter universe.